Hi guys.
Hi guys,
Look who I have here.
one and only.
This is the one and only Crystal,
Yeah,
my girl from way back.
it's a privilege to be here, to be on
Aww.
this channel. Like,
Mm. See,
I
they're
feel
speaking
grateful.
big grammar for us today.
Excuse
Wow.
me.
Talk to us.
Okay, guys. So today we're going to be having a discussion. I've always wanted to talk about this. First of all, I would like to be asking, how have you been able to um, identify your core, who you are, and how have you been able to present and carry that self? Right? Because it's one thing to know who you are, it's another thing to carry it, like have that identity, right? So let's
Oh,
get to hear what you're saying.
how did I discover or figure out who I am? So the thing there is figuring out, when we say figure out who you are, it sounds like it's a
It's a one
one day
time,
thing.
yeah.
Like you just sit down and you decide, you solve math, like solving equation and be like, okay, find x. I found x is this.
Yeah.
you know it's a process, it's a journey that you keep evolving on. But I feel like one thing that stands out for me was I was able to just figure out what I wanted my life to look like,
Okay.
right? I didn't have to have the whole picture.
Puzzle,
And I
yeah.
think that's what one mistake people make, especially young people.
Okay.
You feel like you must see the whole journey
Picture
ahead.
ahead.
You must not, right? You can know what you want the end to look like.
Yeah.
You want the prologue to, the epilogue, sorry, of your story to look like. Or maybe at the end of the story, or at the end of the day, I want it to be said of me that I was this woman that did this
Yeah.
or did that
Yeah.
or embodied this, right? But you may not see the whole
Picture.
plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you may not see the whole roadmap, the things that will lead you there, the whole picture,
Yeah.
So, and the first thing, or one thing that I did that I think has helped me was, like I said, knowing what I wanted my life to look like,
Yeah.
right? So, okay, I wanted to be a woman of relevance, I wanted to be a woman that had a voice, right? And then this is another point too that I feel like young people like us, another part where we mix it up. So when we say, when we were young, they'll ask you, who do you want to be in future? Be like, I want to be a
A
doctor.
doctor. I was part of people that said such.
Yeah, and I think
Missed it all.
we all did,
Yeah.
right? But then you grow up and you realize that that's not who you want to be,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and that's the mistake. So someone would say, I want to be a lawyer. So you tied your whole life to
Around.
being a lawyer. You can't see a future where you're not a lawyer, and like you make it your core, your essence. But that's not being a lawyer.
It's not.
It's not. Yeah, being a lawyer can be a medium
Yeah.
to becoming who you
Who you
want
want
to
to be.
be,
Yeah. Exactly.
or a channel. But being a lawyer
It's
is
not
not
the
your whole
true.
essence. It
Exactly.
cannot be your whole essence.
That's
So
true.
the problem is that most people will tie it down to that one thing. So when you're trying to get admission and then
Just
you end
right
up not
entry.
getting law,
You feel frustrated.
you feel frustrated. You feel like,
Your ambition has been
my
sort of, yeah.
dreams are scattered, blah 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 blah, and all of that, and you give up, right?
Yeah.
So I tell people, who you want to be, don't tie it down to a career.
Yeah.
Tie it down to something deeper.
Yeah.
Go deeper in what you want to be.
Beyond you. Yeah.
I want to be a voice. Okay, let's say for example, you say the kind of life I want for myself is a life where I am a voice for the voiceless. I am a
Yeah.
strong voice that speaks up for the vulnerable,
Yeah.
or things like that. And then you ask yourself, okay, how can I? Okay, being a lawyer,
It's a way.
it's a way.
Yeah.
So let me,
But it's not the way.
it's
There
not
are
the
many
only
ways.
way. Do you
Exactly.
understand? It's
Yeah.
not that's the entire essence.
Yeah.
It's just a channel to something,
Yeah.
right? So that even if you don't become a lawyer, you still know that there are other ways, to navigate it. So I feel
Wow.
like and that's one thing I did for myself. I wanted to study law now.
Yeah.
And honestly, it wasn't because I wanted to be a lawyer, because I always knew that there was something inside of me that was tied down to speaking up for people,
Yeah.
standing up, being a voice, and all of that. So as at then, I thought it was. I felt like I had to
This is
be
a
a
way.
lawyer
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
And the honest truth was left for me. And back then, even in secondary, as early as secondary school, even my classmates would tell me then that I would do well as a psychologist. And I knew I was going to do well as a psychologist,
Interesting.
or even more as a writer, because I loved writing and all of
Yeah.
that. So if you asked me, what would you have wanted to study, I would have preferred psychology or English and literature.
Interesting.
But I wanted law. Why? Because
Because
I
of
felt
the
like
name
as
tag.
a lawyer, it's a professional course, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff
I feel
and
like
all
it's a
of that.
platform for you to do the
Exactly.
voicing and
And
all of
then I
this.
left secondary school and I tried gaining admission. And no matter the high scores I got, because I really did well in my process. I think as at that year, ANSU, I think I had like one of the highest scores.
Wow.
Yeah. And I still didn't get law.
Interesting.
People that had lower scores got law. But something happened, yeah. And that's where God comes into play.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't get admission, and it was one of the best things that happened to me.
Wow.
Not getting admission immediately I left secondary school.
Yeah, because a
I,
lot of young persons just feel like
I it's
not getting admission immediately they leave school.
a curse.
It's a curse, and it's like they feel frustrated. They feel like they have
was
been
God's
pampered.
biggest blessings to me. Like
Wow.
every time I look back, I thank God that God gave me those 2 years. But those 2 years, a lot happened, right? It's an opportunity for me to have a little bit of self-discovery.
Yeah.
God also used it to redirect me, to make me realize that it's not about a course,
Yeah.
right? It's about a dream, a consciousness,
Wow. Wow.
a life you sort of have to step into that your essence, you were not created
Has
in
not
this
been
world. Like I
tampered
don't
with.
think anybody was created in this world that like you're created to be a lawyer.
Lawyer, yeah.
No. You were created to maybe fulfill a certain purpose, but
Yeah.
oh,
Through this
through
platform.
this platform.
Yeah.
That, and ever since then it's been a journey.
Progressive journey,
Yes,
yeah.
a progressive journey. You keep evolving as you take up new tasks, but at the end of the day, I still have a core,
Yeah.
right? I still have a core, which even if I don't know what the future is going to look like, even if I don't know where I'm going to find myself in the next 5 years, I know that in the next 5 years, it doesn't matter the office I hold, it does not matter the occupation, the job description, nothing. It doesn't matter what has happened in my life or not. I still know I'm going to be a voice,
Yeah. Wow.
right? I still know I'm going to be a woman that inspires people,
Wow.
right? That's my core. So no matter what I do, it's still
It's
going to
centered
fall back,
around that core.
And then sorry, let me add one more thing. I remember that when I was in secondary school, I was very sure I was going to marry a priest.
Wow.
You probably did. Are you just? I didn't just you.
The pastor's wife.
Not an Anglican priest.
Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
So it should have probably been known as Bunyo Kochuku.
Ochiora.
Ochiora.
And then the funny thing is not like I was craving marriage per se.
Yeah.
Ask me why I wanted
Why?
to marry a priest, because there was something inside of me that knew that I wanted to talk to women. I knew I was a leader.
Wow.
And I think that's the thing about purpose. When it's tearing in your heart,
Yeah.
you keep having this feeling that you were born for this, right? So I had this urge. I knew that that influence, that being a voice, like
Yeah, was
talking to
always
young
there.
women, helping young women like me. And I was still in secondary school, like,
Wow.
so the reason why I wanted to marry a priest because
You saw that
you
as
know,
a platform.
as a platform now. If
to
you
reach
marry a
out to,
priest,
yeah.
the wife of priest usually sort of handles the women's
organization,
section,
yeah.
the whole women part of it. So
Yeah.
I felt like it was a leadership platform for me to
To that,
influence, to
yeah.
impact, right? And because that was the only scope of knowledge I had
Yeah.
at the time. I didn't realize that
Can actually do that.
you can actually do this in so many
So many
ways,
ways.
right?
Wow.
And it's another mistake people make.
Wow, guys. She has been releasing a lot, like seriously. And that has been interesting because, like, from the little she has said, I really learned a lot. One is your self-discovery. It's very important as a young person. Very, very important. Interesting thing that you also said that really got me thinking was the fact that you had a delay in being admitted into a school, but that delay you were able to maximize the
My
time,
best
right?
lesson.
Wow, because for a lot of persons, they feel like they are being tied down because they're not moving ahead or they're not following what they're supposed to be doing, and maybe some because
I
this
actually
is
felt like I was
applicable.
tied down on that. I didn't
Ex-
find it funny at the time. Oh.
It's
I
true.
didn't find it at first. I didn't find it was. I was like, if there was anybody, like it's me.
It's,
I'm smart. Why
yeah,
am I not getting this and
yeah.
all of that? Until it was even in 2015 that I started appreciating. I started seeing what God was doing for
Doing
me
wow.
and all of that. Yeah. So and even when I finally gained the admission, and I could see that a
The
lot had
difference.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in school, but my focus was different.
Wow.
You understand? I had deeper understanding of some things. I didn't just. It helped me start off my life on time the
Yeah.
right way. So as at the time I got into uni, 100 level, the whole probably
Everybody's
if I
trying to
gain
focus on
admission, then I would be so carried
carried
away
away
with the
with
whole. And
yeah.
now but as at then I was gaining admission into school, my dear, I had deeper
Plans.
goals. So all the things that were shacking, let's use the word shacking 100 level people,
Yeah.
they were not, and most
Moving
people
you.
would be like, have you gotten a degree before? Because you could tell that this person is a fresher in uni, was
Wow.
a fresher at the time, but she was not a fresher. There was just something, different and all. So it was a big blessing to me. My focus was the things that I was craving. Like I was buying books.
Wow.
You understand that kind of? I
Yeah.
was buying books. I wanted to register for conferences as a 100 level. Like
Wow.
those were things that were
You're moving.
driving me and all.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with going to parties and all of that, but
You were not. Yeah.
the thing I want is party where I
Yeah.
have
A lot
guys,
of
I have
your
goals.
dreams, yeah.
You look back to those notes I wrote down there. I was like, how were you thinking like this as a 100 level?
Yeah.
And I know it was because God gave me that within those 2 years, I had to be introduced to a certain light.
Yeah. Wow.
So
That's interesting. So for anyone out there that probably you are being held down by ASU and all of it, maximize the time. Like
exactly.
it shows that nothing can delay you, nothing can stop you, right? Never see any event or anything that's happening presently as a hindrance. You can still maximize that because from everything she have said, it's just like you maximize that season. And even though it didn't appear to look like as if you were progressing, there was progress and it was obvious, it was seen in the subsequent years. That's interesting. Like
Yeah, let me add like few more practical tips. Let me keep it very practical. Yeah. So
Wow.
she's talking about maximizing the
Your
present,
seasons,
maximizing
yeah.
your seasons. And let me tell you something, you can never go wrong with knowledge.
exactly. Wow.
And you even get it right with strategic
Talk to
knowledge.
us. Hey, guys, you are not ready. You are not
Because
ready.
see, let me tell you something.
Okay.
The easiest way, you know how young people be like life, it's hard, it's this.
Yeah.
But in this same country, there are young people that they don't have the connection,
That's true.
but they are entering into rooms.
That's true.
Let me tell you how they are entering into rooms.
Tell us.
Knowledge,
Yeah. That's true.
network. I said they do not have connection, but I just mentioned network.
Yeah.
And seek knowledge. Don't ever feel like invest in yourself.
Wow. Wow.
Invest in yourself.
Guys, I hope you
Look
have
out
books,
for
so start writing down.
conferences. I mean, do you know what I did? I was young and don't think that I figured I had this whole thing figured out, right?
yeah.
I didn't even know the next step to take and all of that. But like I told you, I knew what I wanted my life to look like at least.
Yeah. Just
So
a
I
picture.
found people that had a semblance
Wow.
of that life.
Wow.
So I'll be marking their Instagram handles back to back, right? So for someone like Fela Dutoye, he was a big influence for me when I was younger,
Yeah.
right? And the wife too. So Fela Dutoye would host webinar.
Yeah.
You will see me on that webinar.
Wow.
I will pay and sponsor my own trip
Wow.
to Abuja for conferences because I wanted to. There were women that were on panels that I needed to listen to.
Wow.
I remember sitting down under a lady in 2015. It wasn't a spiritual event,
Yeah.
but I literally felt
Felt.
fire in my bones.
Wow.
This young lady, she was talking about her goals, the things she had done, and that lady, I think she was 25 then. This lady was speaking, and I was so challenged. I was like, This woman I'm looking at is just 25.
Wow.
As at then, I had just turned 20, right? So it's just a 5 year gap.
Yeah.
And then, as from the what she was saying, as at 20, she was already doing a lot for herself. Like, that means there is a life.
Yeah.
There's a life out there, and I can have this life.
Yeah.
You understand? So imagine if I didn't go for that conference. I was sitting down there and my bones were on fire. In my head, I was like, Debbie, you cannot be small. You
Wow.
cannot do the conventional.
Not at
You
all.
cannot settle for the basic. You understand? So things like that, they help you go for conferences, plan to yourself, find a way to get into the midst of women that will challenge, or people or humans that will challenge the hell out of you. Don't sit in the corner. And sometimes you invite someone for a conference and then they say that there is a fee, maybe just 5,000 naira to attend a conference.
Yeah.
Or to pay for a course, and then people like, no, I beg, and this is the same person that would burn 5,000 on shawarma without thinking twice. I'm not saying you should not enjoy your money, but prioritize yourself. Don't see investing in yourself as waste of money. It's so ridiculous. I'm telling you, young people see it as waste of.
That's true.
So I'll not pay 5,000 to go and listen to somebody talk.
Yeah.
It's not talk. Talk is not cheap.
Exactly.
Words are powerful.
Wow.
The aha moments I've had in this life, the moments where I know that my life were transformed, were under the influence of words.
Yeah.
I listened to people talk about their own experience, and I caught a light, I caught fire.
Wow.
So your mindset have to change. You have to prioritize
Investing in yourself.
Wow,
that's
you have to
powerful.
take
That's
yourself seriously. You cannot
Yeah.
say, I want to be this, I want to be that, and you're not even treating yourself like you are that important.
Yeah.
You have not even taught your subconscious, because for you to be, before you can manifest a certain life, before you can become something,
You have to build
you
it.
first of all have to even
That's another topic we need to
your
really talk
subconscious
about.
needs to even believe that
Know
you
that.
are that person.
Exactly.
You cannot say that's God. You're going to be
Man, you
talking
already-
about, like, see,
Seriously, you've already jumped into
that we'll do another
Seriously,
session
because
altogether,
the
because I'm about to
subconscious-
jump into subconscious
Yeah.
and affirmations and words and
learned something already. Knowledge. You said something striking. Say invest in your knowledge. So this life is, you must sacrifice for that dream you want. So if you have been following us, first of all, we talked about how you discover yourself, your core, and when you've found your core, how you go after it. It's not about saying, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to be known for. So, but after you've discovered that, what next?
What
And that's
next?
what she said, that you have to invest in yourself heavily. Define that. Get into the midst of those people you want. Get into that place, no matter what it will cost you, no matter what it will define you. And I think another thing that helps is friendship. Man, we have a lot to talk about.
So I said invest. I mentioned two things: knowledge, and then I also talked about network, and
Yeah,
that was where
exactly.
friendship and
Comes in.
all of that comes in.
Yeah.
So, and the thing there is, they're all like sort of intertwined.
Yeah.
Because when you invest in knowledge, let's say you start paying for conferences, and I know that most of the conferences and workshops and trainings I went for,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, would all be added to a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
So the thing there is now that you are in a WhatsApp group of like minds,
Yeah.
of people who are chasing after knowledge, of people who are in a certain field, who are doing certain things.
Yeah.
So what it means is that every time you come on that WhatsApp group, they are always posting opportunities that interest you.
Wow.
It's a network.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you realize that your life starts changing. You start thinking differently because you're surrounded by
Like minds.
like minds.
Yeah.
When you invest in knowledge, you read a book. The next thing I want to do is to go and follow the person on Instagram.
Exactly.
I go for a conference and I am inspired by the words. Next thing I want to go and follow them. So
Yeah.
by the time I'm scrolling through Instagram, my feed is
You're feeling
filled
on the
up.
right thing.
It's filled up with the right content. You find out that because you're growing mentally, you can't afford to keep certain friendships.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not like you are discriminating or anything, but you find out that
You cannot
You
longer-
want,
they
like,
fall
you
off.
can't-
Yeah. They
you
fall off.
can't-
It's like a baggage. You can't help
yeah,
it. They fall
it's
off on
like,
their own.
what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
You are like this.
Yeah.
If you're not So a friendship is very important. Surrounding yourself with people like, because I know that we've had times when we talked about our dreams, our goals. Share your own dreams
Yeah.
and goals with me. I'll tell you my own and all of that. You encourage me, I will encourage you. That was
Yeah.
just me talking about it, like having friends that you can actually have those conversations with.
Absolutely.
Like there are some things that this girl graduated with a first class in pharmacy.
Yo.
Like, do you understand? Do you know what it means? And even at that, while in school, she was not just sitting down. Oh, she was very active,
Yeah.
chasing her dreams, investing in herself. She
Yeah.
was still in school. You were still in school. You went for that the platform.
Yeah.
This
Young,
thing,
yeah.
young professionals boot
boot
camp. Like
yeah. Man, that's
she was still in school and she went for it too, and she still graduated with a first class. So
Yeah.
sometimes you tell people like you can have both.
exactly.
Don't just be in school 4 years of your life. You're just going to class and coming back.
a first class personality.
Yes,
Yeah,
like-
she actually taught me that. I think I get the
Honestly,
one
yeah.
say it. Being a
Honestly.
first class personality and not a first class
And
student.
if you're just a first class student, like your life, just don't limit your life to just studies. Like
Yeah.
there are other aspects of life. Get a mentor if you can.
Yeah.
Hey God.
That one is another.
It's a long talk. Let's not go too far. But
It's so valuable.
plant yourself. Be willing to serve.
Yeah.
Young people don't want to serve.
Exactly.
People don't understand the concept of honor.
Wow.
People don't want to serve, right? They just want it quick,
Yeah.
right? You're telling someone, okay, because when I was in school, I'll keep using myself as an example
Yeah,
because
because
of
that's
course
the best.
it's my
that's the best way to-
experience. I remember when I was in school, and because people would see me jump on a flight, maybe to attend one training with Yaga
Yeah.
or UN Women, this thing. So one of the ladies in my hostel, then she come to like, "Ah, Debbie, I love what you're doing now. Carry me along. Well, this." At first, when she told me in my head, I was like, "Okay,
Okay.
you think it's the glam,
Yeah.
huh?" Then one day there was an opportunity that came out, and then I told her that, okay, so there is this program, this training, sign up for it. She was not like, how much?
How much?
I said it's not. You are not getting paid,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But she didn't prioritize. She was like, no, I beg God, I'm looking for where they will pay me. You are telling me that I should come and do this. I'm looking for where they will pay me. But that's the mindset.
Yeah.
People come into a space and they're like, how do I take? How do I take? How do I take?
Not
How do I
thinking of
take?
how
How do
to
I take?
give.
How do I get paid? Like
Yeah.
they only see money as a reward.
Yeah.
Money
Wow.
is not the only reward. An experience can pay you and give you what money cannot give.
exactly.
Right? I know that of recent we are now using this exposure. Is it exposure that we use and eat as a joke?
Yeah.
Comedians and all of that. But in as much as I know that there are some people abuse that,
Yeah.
exposure is still a
Very
good
good
form
treasure.
of payment.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? You can attend one conference. It was at the conference that I met my mentor, and that
Wow.
woman changed my entire life.
Wow. Wow.
I've never had to carry CV to go and look for a job in my life because of that woman.
Wow.
And I met her where? At the conference. I used transport. Hey God. And we've attended conferences, like, and one thing about me is I always want to drag my friends along.
Yeah.
I remember that was it Shift Forum of 2016 or 2017? You had to, we lodged in the hotel. See, those hotel people, if you're into the hospitality sector, don't call for me. We were 7 in a room
Wow.
because we didn't have money. We were students. We were 7 in a room just because we wanted to attend Shift Forum Africa. And look at me today. I moved from the girl that was squeezing 7 in a room to attend Shift Forum Africa. You know this
Being
story.
a creator, yeah. Wow. Guys.
So it's not about. So sometimes don't stop
No,
looking
when you
at.
see all those glamours, when you see people
quick.
doing things on social media, you feel like, how did they get there? What are they doing? But when you don't understand the background, what they do behind the scenes, and that is the principle of greatness. Anytime you meet someone that is great or is attending to greatness, try to understand what is the mechanism.
Ask for their
Principles. Ask for their stories.
principles they honor.
The behind the scenes. That is
Don't
what
just
makes
want
great.
yeah. And some people you even get into the network, maybe you meet a great woman and then she
And then
takes
you-
you in and then 2 weeks 2 weeks of hanging around her, you feel like, oh, I've already learned a lot and all of that. Next thing you want to
Want to
show
start your
yourself, you
own,
want to
exactly.
do giddy. No,
Learn to serve.
don't crave something you've not understood. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Desire to follow process. Don't be someone
Yeah.
that runs away from process.
Wow.
Don't be someone that runs away from honor.
Yeah.
Right? Honor
That's a
people,
principle
honor their
that's-
crafts. If you want to go far in life, I've always told people this thing, yeah. If you crave something, the first thing you may want to do is honor that thing,
Yeah.
right? If you see someone's greatness, honor it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do what it takes. So let's say you want to be great, you admire someone like or Chimamanda Adichie, people like that. You admire them and you want to be like them, yes. But when Chimamanda releases a book,
You don't read it.
you have the money because you can afford to use the money and go and drink and do whatever, but
Yeah.
you feel you don't honor her enough. You don't feel she's important enough or valuable enough
Yeah.
for you to spend money on buying her book. Or when Fela organizes a course that you can actually afford, but you feel like, I beg, let me not come and use my money and pay for a course and all of that. How do you plan to have that kind of life when you
Like, when
can't
you cannot
even honor
honor.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to get paid, but you can't pay other people.
Wow.
How? Now, juju.
Wow.
That's why I tell people that. You say, hey, I
Yeah.
want to be great. I want people to come and do this for me. But you've not even paid someone else that is doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, let's use baking for example. You want to be the biggest baker in the whole world or whatever. Then
Yeah.
there is someone that is already doing something like that. And then
Yeah.
the person is telling you, come and register for my course. And then in your head, you're like, I beg go, register for what? Or
You
this
go on YouTube and you are deceiving
and then you are
yourself.
deceiving yourself or whatever. And it's not
Outside.
like you cannot afford it. It's not like if you stretch yourself, you cannot afford it. It's just that you don't honor the person enough to want to pay for the person's
for it.
craft. But you, the same you
Wants
are
to
still
learn.
dreaming of getting to that same point
Level.
where people will also pay you.
Yeah.
It's a very simple life
Yeah.
principle.
That's true. Wow, wow. And I agree with you, because one thing I've even noticed in life is that most times when you desire a thing, just take a step. Like, you honor someone you want to do, even if you don't have the money at the moment, but
Volunteer.
just take a step, volunteer, like do
Work for the person.
something.
Do something.
Do something. There
Get
must be
yourself
something to
into
be
that
done. There is a
circle.
way out. Yeah.